All right, welcome everybody. It is Monday, May 6th. This is the first week of May, crazy town. We are like almost 6 months into the year, right? And we've got a lot to cover today, so I want to make sure that we dive right in. Do I have the right one up? I think I do. Okay. So, our motto or our statement, right, is I will persist until I succeed. I was not delivered into this world in defeat, nor does failure course in my veins. I am not a sheep waiting to be prodded by my shepherd. I am a lion, and I refuse to talk, to walk, to sleep with the sheep. So today we're going to be talking about a couple things. We're going to review the action hours that are new since the cruise. We're going to also review the new lead program, which we kind of touched on, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper into the compensation of it. We're going to review also the new client support bonus plus, which is pretty awesome, and not commit to health. Commit to health is not supposed to be on there, but we're going to be talking a little bit about our brain food for the week. So action hours are different from power hours in that they are meant for action, right? So I know that Susan has done some, and I know that Patricia has done some. I would love to hear from you guys. What has been helpful to you in terms of participating in the action hours? Yeah.
They're very practical. They're very explicitly structured, just with slides that are up there with your marching orders. But they're, even those slides with the bullet points with the marching orders gives you some things to think about, some, approaches and directions that, that I might not have thought about before. So, I consider that really helpful, and just the timed, it's broken down into different times of the hour to focus on different things, so that you don't, spend a whole hour doing, birthdays and A to Z's, and you don't get to other things.
Right. Awesome. Susan, do you have any thoughts in your experience so far?
I would just reinforce what Patricia said.
Okay. And there's different leaders leading it, but I don't know that the leadership really affects it much because we're kind of all doing the same thing. And so I invite you guys to join. It is pinned to the top of Coaches on a Mission, but we have 3 times on Thursday, 2 times on Wednesday, and 1 time on Tuesday as it stands right now. Okay. And that doesn't mean you can't do your own action hour, right? But there's something magical that happens when we do it together. And actually last week, Susan and I played like a bingo game. And I don't know about Susan, but for me, it was, I'm a little bit competitive. And so it got me really focused on getting my work done, So you are all invited. For those of you that are looking to grow, make a bigger impact, make a bigger income, we invite you to join us, okay? Now, as far as the client support bonus plus, so you guys remember the client support bonus was when you add 3 clients, you get a 3% bonus, 3 new clients or reactivated clients, right? When you add 5 new clients or reactivated clients, you get a 5% bonus. Well, they have now sweetened the deal because you only need 2 to get your 3% bonus. And they've added an extra tier. So now you can earn either 3%, 5%, or 7%. So this is the first, go ahead, honey.
Starting in June, next month.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that. So this is beginning in June. That's how this is going to work. So the qualification is if you add 2 to 4 new clients, 3% bonus, 6 to 7 new clients, 5% bonus. I'm sorry, it would be 5 to 7. I'm sorry, 5 to 7. Let me fix that right there. And then over 7, not 70.
5 to 6.
What's that?
5 to 6 and 7 and plus.
Thank you. So glad we have the numbers guy on board, right? So since I've been coaching, never has there been an opportunity for you to earn this high of a commission. And you qualify every month. So if you, this is like open to you every single month. One thing I do want to point out is that what's different is that reactivating clients no longer count as a new client. Okay. So for you to earn the bonus, you only need to add 2 new clients to earn the 3% bonus, but they must be new, never placed before orders. Okay. And then you can earn the bonus. Okay. Now, as far as lead qualifying goes, we talked a little bit about this the other week as well, but I wanted to review that. So remember that Optavia is referring people to LifeMD, right? And LifeMD is referring people to Optavia. So there's like a two-way street. And Optavia is investing a lot more money in advertising, right? And so what they're doing is they're trying to get the word out, right? They're trying to get the word out that we've got the goods. And so what they've done is they've changed the qualification. It used to be that you had to be an executive director. Now you only have to be an associate director, and you have to have added 1 client in the month before. Okay. So let me move on to that screen as well. So you can qualify every month. So it begins this month in that you can qualify this month to earn the leads in June. Does that make sense? Okay. So you can qualify every single month. You have to be an associate director, add 1 new client, and you have to complete the medical weight loss modules. And I did post it into Coaches on a Mission, but I know that there were a lot of questions about that last week. So I wanted to kind of review it with everybody. Okay. So basically you log into Optavia Connect, and on those tabs, you go under Learn, and then there's certification, and then there's a tab for the medical weight loss. Okay. So you have this month to get that done so you can qualify for leads next month. You have this month to get yourself to associate director if you want to qualify for leads for next month, right? If you have not yet met with Eddie for your strategy session, this would be a good time to do it, because if you're wanting to capitalize on all of the money that Optavia is putting on the table for you, they're putting a lot of it out there, right? It would be a good idea to have a strategy, have a plan. Now, what's also unique about the new lead program is that the compensation is a little bit different. Okay. So think about it. Okay. Our job as coaches, the main skills are acquire and support clients, acquire and support coaches, right? So when they have given us a lead, have we acquired that client? No. The company may have had a part in that, right? So because they're giving us all these extra bonuses, they're also making it so that they're using their funds efficiently, right? And so I think that it's more than fair what they're proposing, okay? So if you as the coach acquire a client, and converted means they actually started the program, they placed an order, right? So you as the coach earn 100% of the CV and 100% of the QV on that client. So honey, can you come on and share a little bit, just explain the difference between CV and QV?
Yeah, yes. Let me just get closer to the microphone here. QV is the index that they use to give you the qualification for ranks. So every time that you see QV, think about rank. CV is based on what they're gonna pay you. So CV is how they're gonna use that qualification volume and translate that into inflation, right? So prices are adjusted, inflation is there. So the CV fluctuates, but the QV doesn't. QV is for rank, CV is for you to get paid. So when you get like $100 in QVs, means that you're going to have a CV that is a little higher than that QV because it was adjusted for the price of the goods. So before was 1-to-1, now it changed. So there is a fact, there's a number that you have to multiply to find out exactly what your CV. You can see that on the price list. They list every box, every product with the QV that you receive and the CV relative to that product.
So all you really need to understand is that you get 100% of the credit for qualifying for ranks. Why do you want to qualify for ranks? Because if you're an associate director and you add a client, you qualify for leads, right? So that qualifying volume helps qualify you for the leads or for rank advancements. And every time you advance in rank, you'll also get a raise, right? So you're earning more. Patricia, you asked if CV is compensation volume, and I believe it's commissionable volume, but either way, it's about the money. Okay. The CV is the income that you're making. Okay. So if you acquire the client and if you like nurture that client and then they start the program with you, you get paid 100% on that client, and 100% of the value of that goes towards your qualifications. Okay. Now, what if the company has acquired the client? Okay. So they drew the client in, right? You had never heard of this person before until this moment. Okay. Now what they're doing is when a client comes in and they request a coach, the company is holding on to that lead for a designated period of time that I right now don't remember what it is. I want to say it's something like 6 hours, where when that client goes on the website, if they place an order within those 6 hours, okay, that means the company acquired them and the company converted them, because you were never involved in them getting started. Does that make sense? So in that situation, you're not going to get paid on anything on that first order, but you are going to get 100% credit for qualifying volume. Okay. So now moving forward, obviously you're going to continue getting paid. Okay. But for that very, very first order, if somebody goes onto the website, requests a coach, places their order before you even ever hear about them, then you get 0 commissionable volume. But let's say that they come onto the website, they request a coach. And so 6 hours have gone by, they have not placed an order. The company will send you the information and say, Susie Q has requested a coach. So that means we have to connect with them within 24 to 48 hours. It's always been this. We recommend that you connect with your leads within 24 to 48 hours. And if after you connect with them, they place an order, you get paid 50% on the commissionable volume for that one. And you always get 100% on the qualifying volume. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions about this, the lead program? No? Okay. So I think it's pretty cool because they're investing a lot of money in ads, and because they're investing so much money, their ads are probably a lot better than anyone that we might make, right? And so, we're going to let them draw the clients in, and what we're going to do is we're going to nurture them and take care of them, right? Now, there's a couple of things that are new as well. There is a new income disclosure statement from 2023. We had been using the 2022 one. There's a new one. And so if you're including the disclaimer, you want to make sure that you're using the latest income disclosure statement link. Okay. So for example, if you share a lifestyle post, like, thanks to coaching, I'm able to buy a car. Thanks to coaching, I'm able to take my daughter to her whatever. Okay. You always want to include your disclaimer. And there's always a link to the income disclosure. Okay. And so I just wanted to make sure that you guys all knew that there's this new income disclosure statement. And Optavia released also updated policies and procedures that are effective immediately. And so as long as you are a coach, you're just kind of letting Optavia know that you're agreeing with the policies and procedures. And what I know is that saying I didn't know doesn't work. So I invite you to review those policies and procedures. I didn't go into too much of that today, but I do invite you to go and review. One of the things that I can remember off the top of my head that's different is that clients must be clients that have an account must be 18 or older. I know that that's not an issue for any of you guys, but my daughter uses a lot of the fuelings, and so I place an order for her, right? However, that is a change. So that's no longer allowed. So her order needs to go together either with mine or with Eddie's, right? And so minors cannot have an account. Having said that, there's also a new law in the state of New York that they're trying to protect minors when it comes to like supplements and things like that. So in New York, EAAs cannot be sold to anybody under the age of 18 either. Okay, so they're going to have a system for like checking it off, and I think even for the delivery in the state of New York. And so I had actually talked to Dr. Mark Nelson on the cruise to kind of learn a little bit more about why. And he was saying things like, steroids and things like that, that can really affect kids. That's really what they're trying to protect against. And it just so happened that EAAs fell into that. Whey protein didn't, but EAAs did. Go figure. But bottom line is just so that you guys be aware, okay, of this new issue if you have any clients in the state of New York. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen again. All right, remember that our theme for vitamin C is to get our head in the game, right? We want to outwit our mind, outplay our body, and outlast our excuses. And I want to give thanks to Tim and Christy yesterday for jumping in. I was out of commission planning the girls' graduation, and they just went into action, figured it out, and got it out to the field. And so thank you so much, Tim. And so I want to thank those that are leading, and I also want to thank those of you that are participating. And so the theme for this week, okay, our brain food for this week that we're going to be discussing on Sunday is going to be the Conscious Leadership Forum that's going to be happening tomorrow, okay? Yes, Patricia?
Sunday's Mother's Day. Are we meeting Sunday night?
That is a good question. I was planning to. Let me hear from you guys. What do you guys think?
I'll be available.
I don't think it's a bad thing, Donnie. I mean, the recording is available.
Honey, is your 25th year anniversary as well?
Oh,
That's kind of
Yeah.
a big deal.
That is a very big deal.
so there's that.
I picked it up. I think I picked it up, Donnie.
You did?
I think I did. I think I got
Okay.
the 12th. Yeah.
Okay. So, if you're good with it, Tim, let's go. Let's go for it. Okay. And Dr. A's theme is where does our happiness come from? Okay. And so I think it's going to be good. But, normally we would have put out the theme for this by today. And I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that it's not that I forgot. It's just that it's this is going on. So I posted it into Coaches on a Mission. I posted it into Mission Possible. So then once it's live, we can watch it and add content into Mission Possible based on that, right? Talk about it, share your takeaways and things like that. And then we discuss it on vitamin C. Yes.
Donnie, this is Kelly. I think I got an email today saying they pushed that back to the 14th.
Oh, they did?
That was the email I got today on the conscious leadership.
He
Said something about he was out and didn't have service.
Oh, okay. When I put this together, I had not seen that.
Hold tight.
So
Let me just make sure I'm not crazy. I'm just gonna double check right here.
let me check the leader thread here real quick to see if there's any updates.
Okay, came out today, 12:02. Yes, May
Okay.
forum postponed until May 14th at
Yeah.
12 noon Eastern.
Well, thank you for pointing that out, Kelly. So stay tuned because there will be a different topic. We're actually going to be, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, why don't we continue on the women's health theme?
I haven't had a chance to listen to the call from last night. Did it like, was there more information that?
We scratched the surface.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do that then. So we'll just extend that so that people can, as you are noticing, this is very flexible, you guys. What is the main idea? The main idea is that we are encouraging our clients to feed their minds. That's the main idea. And we're streamlining it so we're not giving them too much of a buffet, because people get overwhelmed if they have too much of a buffet. So we say, here is your meal. And this is it. So you do not have to go watch all over creation. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just send out the mother's one from last week as well, or I'm going to see if there's another women's health one that I can find, and I'll put that together to send out by tomorrow. Those are all good observations, that it's Mother's Day and that Dr. A's thing is not going to happen. So we're going to pivot because Jim Dethmer says that the person with the most flexibility wins. So we are flexible, right?
You have
And
an
so let me
anniversary.
see. What's that?
You have an anniversary.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I do. All right. It's a fun
Don't miss
month
that.
for us in May. I'm sorry.
I would say don't miss that. And congrats, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let me see here. The next thing that I wanted to cover with you guys really is just, last week we talked about, Lynn came on and talked about the medications, and there were questions about, do we get paid? I wanted to make sure that all questions are answered in terms of the program, and give you guys also an update on my behind the scenes tour, right? So I ordered my medications, or I met with LifeMD, and I paid for that out of pocket, right? They have 1 month, 3 month, or 6 month packages where it's a special deal. And then they have a compounding pharmacy. My insurance happens to cover one of the medications with prior authorization and jumping through every single hoop on the face of the earth. And so I'm not done jumping through every single hoop. So I ended up ordering, just paying out of pocket to get started. And I gave myself my first injection today. And so I don't have any update on anything on how I feel, but you guys are going to be hearing about it as we go along. But I also wanted you to hear how that happened. So they sent me the medication and it was refrigerated and I had to put it in the refrigerator. There's a video for those that don't know how to, inject their medications or whatever. So, and then I also have, there's an app with LifeMD. So we update them as well on what's going on. Does anybody have any questions surrounding the medical weight loss or, what we covered last week, or how to approach people about it? Maybe your who you should approach about it? Susan, I see you nodding your head. What were you nodding your head at?
Well, I guess, how to approach people one-on-one and how to approach people sharing on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, I know that Optavia has a really awesome ad going on right now. It says something like, you've taken your GLP-1s, now here's the lifestyle piece. Now here's us, or something. I can't remember exactly how it is, but it basically says, okay, you got the medications. Now we're going to help you. Okay. And what I like about that is that we're showing that this is a synergistic thing. It's not a competitive thing. Okay. That's a huge shift in my brain. I don't know about you guys, right? It's a huge shift in my brain. And so we're actually helping people no matter where they are in their journey, right? And so if you have clients that start and by day 4, they've fallen off the wagon. They start and then by day 4, they've fallen off the wagon. They start and then by day 4, they've fallen off the wagon, okay? Are these people broken? Are they weak? I will tell you right now, they're shaming themselves pretty badly. Okay. And the more they shame themselves, the worse it gets in terms of getting the thing done. And so they don't need any, what they need is the assurance, okay, saying you're not broken. Okay. This is a problem because this is a problem. And there's a lot of hormones and things going on. I mean, even to the point where for some people, they can be exercising just like everybody else. And after having lost weight or whatever, they're not burning the same amount of calories, right? So it's, once again, it's harder. They can put the same amount of effort, but it's harder for one for less results. Okay. And so bottom line is that our bodies can work against us. Does that mean it's impossible? Doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means that we are sympathizing, letting them know, okay, that there's nothing wrong with them, trying to let them put down the guilt. Yes, Tim.
I'm sorry. I continue your thought. I wanted to comment on a client that actually came forward and told me that she had started too. So
yeah, tell us about it.
Well, I think that opening up the opportunity and letting people know that we're also supporting medically assisted weight loss. Now that opens up some doorways. And for my client, I hadn't spoken with her in like a week and a half. And we had a real long revelation of things that she was trying to accomplish, but the things that were jumping in her way and what her experience was this last time she fell off the wagon. Long story short, she told me that she had started with the GLP-1s. And she was feeling conflicted about it because she felt like she was broken. And we had a long talk, and I just reassured her. I said, listen, it's a tool. It's a tool. You're trying to accomplish something that probably took a lifetime of battling, and you didn't have the right tool. Now you do. So remember that you're not in it alone, and we will find a way to pivot and be able to connect you with the plan that's going to support what you're doing already. Now she opted, actually I haven't talked to her again, but she was thinking about opting not to do it because she didn't like the side effects from the first couple of injections that she took. So I told her, just, talk to your doc, make sure that you're on point with that, but understand that we do have a design in this plan now that we can support whatever you're doing. So the opportunities are there.
I think that it was Kelly that shared this example with me. I don't know if it was Kelly or somebody did that, we can look at, I used to look at the fuelings like a crutch, right? I was like, they're a crutch, you're cheating. And that's how I've looked at the medications too, that there'd be a crutch. Well, guess what? I broke my ankle a couple years ago. I needed a crutch. I needed the crutch. There was a purpose for the thing, right? So we can look at a crutch as a negative thing, or we can say, you know what, it is a tool for me to be able to function when there's an injury, when something's not working the way it was supposed to work, right? So it's not a cop-out. It's not cheating. Kelly, was it you that shared that with me?
Yeah, this was actually shared with me from Tide, because a couple of years ago when I was in a really dark place, they wanted to start me on Wellbutrin. And I had always been very against any kind of med like that. And I think about it, for me, I think about the weight loss meds as the same thing. And what Tide said was, if you broke your ankle and I gave you a crutch, would you be fighting against the crutch? Because it's just helping you walk a little easier because your foot can't work right. He said, same thing with, at that point, it was that med. He said, it's just going to help your brain to work a little bit better and just need some help for some time. So, which was pretty powerful to me. It was a big, oh, okay. Yeah. If I see it that way, it totally changed my mindset for that. And I see the meds the exact same way. And like we had in our discussion the other day, kudos. I think you're incredibly brave to put your hand up and say, I'm ready. I want to try this. I've tried all these things. I've busted my buns on this, but things are not shifting. So you know what? I'm okay with this. And so I don't think it, my thought was with the med, that was this med or the meds was a weakness, but it's not. Actually, it's a strength. And it's a strength to say, I'm going to stand up for me. So kudos. I think it's wonderful for you. I cannot wait to be part of and watch your journey as we go along.
Thank you. Thank you. But a lot of people, I remember being a nurse practitioner and having teenagers coming in crying and saying, I can't believe I'm pregnant. I don't want this baby. And, so some people will get pregnant by breathing, right? And I had to pay a lot of money and give myself a lot of shots, okay, to be able to have my miracle babies. And so, and I don't regret that. I was like, I don't care what I gotta do. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. It was that important to me. And so when it comes to people achieving their health goals, if we can kind of come from that mindset of their, you know, just like if they're having fertility issues or they're having whatever, okay, if they broke their ankle, you would give them a crutch because that would help them get around, right? Or you'd give them a scooter, whatever it is, bottom line. But I promise you that they are beating themselves up. So those people that are constantly by day 4, I would just broach it with them and say, hey, did you know that there are hormones that mess with us and that can make it a little bit more difficult for you to stay on track? Did you know that there are tools for that? Are you open to exploring those? Okay. Just like we do with the feelings. Are you open to exploring what we can do? Right. And some people are and some people aren't. And that's okay. We're not here to push either one. We're here to help those that are ready. Right. But I wanted to make sure that you guys knew how to approach them. Yes, Tim.
This client of mine was really beating herself up about it, and she didn't want to say anything to me because she felt like she was a failure. And I told her, I said, Karen, listen, you know what? It's not easy to change old habits, and it's not easy to change what's going on right now, because clearly you have a desire to stay focused, but sometimes you need a little help. I mean, and I reminded her what we're supposed to do. Take the bat out of your hand, stop whacking yourself in the head with it, stop beating yourself up, because that's not productive. As a matter of fact, that just puts you back into the cycle that got you here in the first place. So she really responded well, and she was grateful that that we have the option.
Yes. And that's what people need to hear, is that there's nothing wrong with them, that we have options. If they're exploring their options, we can help either way, right? Patricia, we were going to say something.
When I posted the question a couple of months ago, I had a couple of friends, you know, speak up and say that they had been using medically supported weight loss to calm down the food chatter in their minds, and you know, and very very happy with the result. And in general, I think the more we learn about the neurochemistry of addiction and you know all these different things, the more we don't know what it's like to walk in the shoes of somebody who, you know, if I'm off sugar for 4 days, I can shrug it off pretty much, you know, but there are some people who would still be fighting that battle 4 years later, you know. And one of Julie, one of my friends who spoke up was one of my daughter's hockey coaches, who is Miss CrossFit, absolutely like born athlete, loves it, you know, buff, muscular, and she said she has been on medically supported weight loss for years because of significant genetic factors that would, you know, shorten her lifespan. And this is a young woman. And you don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Right. Right. Yeah. Tell
I
us
just
what you
started rereading it, and
Okay.
I just read it cover to cover. Like
Yeah.
for the first time in the 3 years that I've had this thing, I was picking out the different scrolls, but man, that first scroll is like, it's gold. And then every other scroll after it, please go back and check this out, you guys. You want to see some nuggets. That big nugget that you read at the beginning of every meeting, that comes from here.
Yes, it does.
This is amazing, especially if you want to change those habits and help you encourage your clients to do it. Scroll number 1, just it's life changing. I'm actually going to start doing a series on this on my lives, because it's just that good. And to read it to the end and know that there's a part 2 to this, I got to get the part 2.
Well, and the way it's intended is for us to use them as affirmations where we repeat it 3 times a day, right? where like we listen to it, we read it, we say it, 3 times a day for a whole month, one scroll at a time. And that's the power of affirmations. What were you gonna say, Tim?
I just was acknowledging one scroll.
Yeah, one scroll for 30 days. So is it 10 scrolls, 9 scrolls right now? I can't remember. 10,
And
10 scrolls.
there's
Yeah.
10 scrolls.
That would be a year's worth in that tiny little book. But that's life changing. It is life changing. And so, anyways, all right, guys, I know we went a little over, but I want to congratulate you guys all for staying and for investing in your business. I invite you guys to join me for the action hours this week. And I also invite you to join me after the meeting. This one, Dan Bell has his team meeting. And so if you're able, I've spoken with most of you individually in terms of prioritizing your time. And if you have the time, then by all means join us, okay? But if you have to choose between doing an action hour or joining Dan Bell, then go do your action, okay? But with that, you guys have a good night. We will see you back next week.
Happy Nurses Week, everybody.
Happy Nurses Week, yes.
You
Happy
too.
Bye,
Nurses
guys.
Week.
Bye.